Hello guys, happy Tuesday again and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm sure most of you will already know, we're going to be taking a look at our budget and seeing how we did in the month of August, whether we underspent, whether we overspent, who knows. I'm going to let you guys know by the end of this video. So of course what we're going to be doing is just going through all the categories in our budget template, which you can also access as well. If you're interested, I do have a monthly and weekly budgeting template which you can purchase from my Etsy store, so definitely check that out. It will be linked in the description below, and what I'll be doing is changing the numbers within the spreadsheet so that you can see which categories we may have underspent or overspent in. So yeah, excited to just go through everything. So the first one I obviously want to go over is saving and investments. Now I think for me this is probably the most boring bit, not because I feel like investing is boring, I definitely don't, but because we're just pretty much doing things on autopilot now. It's just something that we do automatically every single time that we get paid. So what we did was put 1,500 into our savings and then 100 each into our stocks and shares ISA for the month of August. So in total that means we did actually put 1,700 towards our savings and investments. And again, as I say, that pretty much never changes at all. Even if we overspend and underspend in some areas, that section just doesn't really change, which is great. So yeah, all happy days with that. And then going over to essential bills. So again, a lot of these costs are pretty much fixed costs, so they don't necessarily tend to change. So things like rent, that didn't change, that's still 1,050. Water didn't change, that was 50. And electric and gas together, that was 43. Council tax is still 145. Again, we've not been sent a letter or anything, so I can't get into contact with them at the moment, so we're just paying 145 and we'll just see what happens over the next few months. But yeah, just it's a little bit annoying sort of trying to figure out exactly how much we should be paying, but you know, as long as our council tax gets paid, that's all I'm thinking about at the end of the day. So happy that's being paid. And then again, our broadband came to 29.60. Our iCloud was paid, so that was 158. Both of our phone contracts were also paid as well. So for Yinka, that's my husband, in case you're new to my channel and you didn't know, his phone contract comes to about £12 a month and mine comes to about £10 a month, but we use the same provider. So if you're interested, we do use Voxy and we get quite a lot of data, we get endless social media as well. So for me, it's just really useful. If you are interested in using Voxy, I will of course leave a link in the description below, because we both can get vouchers as well if you do use that link. Of course, you don't have to, it's up to you. But then moving on to tithes, charity and giving, again, that's something that's pretty much on autopilot. It doesn't necessarily change very much anyway. So again, that had pretty much all been paid out. The next one moves over to our sinking funds. So we did have some money to put towards car maintenance, and the reason why we decided to put £74 in there, I think I mentioned that in our previous budgeting update video, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. I will link that up here for you and in the description below. But basically I just wanted to round it up to the nearest £1,000. So we had £74 left and I wanted to just put money into that car maintenance. Call me weird, but I just like doing that. If you also tend to do things like that, please do let me know in the comments below, so it's not just me. But essentially we did pay £74 towards our car maintenance so that we can round that off to £1,000. And again, the reason why we do that is because we pay for a lot of things annually when it comes to our car maintenance. So things like insurance, and our insurance is actually coming up I think next month, so month of September. So we do need to pay for our insurance, and obviously you've got things like servicing the car and road coverage and things like that. So that's why we tend to just put money aside maybe at the beginning of the year or whenever we can. And then we also had a sinking fund for clothes, so we did put £20 in there. Again, I don't think we're probably going to be buying clothes very much for the rest of this year, to be honest. I think the only thing that I'm thinking about is maybe getting another winter jacket, but at the moment I don't think I'm going to be leaving my house very much during winter, so I'm not too sure. But again, we've just put some money there, and with that we actually put our clothes pot together now, so it's not necessarily separate. And yeah, if you guys didn't know that, we have actually joined our finances, so myself and my husband, we did actually also do a video talking through that in a bit more detail, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. I will of course link that up here for you and in the description below. But in total the sinking funds came to £94, and again that didn't change, which was great. And if you're liking this video so far, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, as it really does help to support the channel, and I'm sure you already know it's free. And then next up is the one that I'm always looking forward to, and it's seeing exactly how we did when it came to our spending. So the first one was petrol. So we had budgeted about £90. Usually we will budget around £80, but I just had a slight feeling that we would probably need more this month, just because we've been traveling a bit more because it's the month of August. Also, if you guys didn't know, we actually have our wedding planned sort of end of August, beginning of September. So because of that, we have had to do a lot of traveling. We've had to buy a lot of last minute things and things like that. So it's been a bit hectic. So that's why I really just thought actually we're probably going to need a bit more money when it comes to our petrol. So yeah, we budgeted about £90. And if I just look on our Monzo account, I can tell you exactly how much we spent. We spent £89. So I'm actually really happy that I pretty much predicted how much we would spend on petrol, and yeah, with £1 left over. So what I'm gonna do is just edit this budget for £89. So yeah, £1 left over, which was great. And then moving over to groceries. Now last month we did end up overspending. I think we overspent by about £15. A big part of that reason was because we did have family over, which we hadn't really taken into consideration very much. We did have family over again in August, and I hadn't necessarily planned for that we did plan for that, but I think I just still wanted to see if we could stick to the budget. But with our groceries bill, we did go over. However, it actually wasn't by that much at all, which I'm quite surprised at. But in terms of our groceries budget, what we budgeted was £136 for the month, but what we actually spent was £139. So we did go over by £3, only £3. So that's not bad at all. I genuinely thought we were going to go over maybe a bit more, but actually, yeah, we've done pretty well this month, which I think is quite good considering, as again, we're in the month of August, it's summer. I was a bit worried we might be going over, but yeah, £139 isn't bad. And so within the 4 weeks pretty much means that on average we've spent around £34.75. So for me, I don't think that is bad at all. And if you're interested, that's around $47 US. So again, I think it's not been that bad this month. I'm actually pretty surprised that we only went over by about £3. I think is actually amazing considering sort of some of the things that we were buying, and like things for family as well, it was a bit more expensive. But yeah, glad to have almost stuck to the budget for groceries. So I think we're pretty much doing well there. Then moving over to toiletries. So what we did budget was £30 for the month. And that's something we tend to spend, I would say, on average every single month. So we try to keep that the same, but we did slightly go over with our toiletries, and we actually went over by £2. So we did spend £32 with our toiletries, which again isn't the end of the world. So as I mentioned, we will usually probably underspend in some areas as well, so everything tends to balance out, but I'm just going to edit £32 on here. And then when it comes to our spending, so in case you guys didn't know, we tend to allocate around £100 each towards our own spending, and so that's something that we can freely spend our own money on, but everything else we pretty much join. So just in terms of my own spending, because I think like you guys might be interested in that, but in terms of my spending, I think I pretty much just spent like my whole £100. So part of that was from eating out. So one of the places that we went to a restaurant, and that was actually with Financial Joy Academy. So if you guys didn't know, I'm a member of Financial Joy Academy, and so that's really been created by the Humble Penny, so Ken and Mary, and so they'd actually planned a day out to meet all of the members, which was really nice, and it was in London, and it was absolutely lovely. So really enjoyed that. So for me, I didn't mind spending money to go and get food there, so that was nice. Again, if you are interested in maybe joining Financial Joy Academy, whether it's to do with, you know, thinking about doing a side hustle, an online business, or investing or anything like that, definitely check my link in the description below. And then also I had to spend money on transport getting to some of these places, particularly in London, so things like public transport as well. So I pretty much spent like the whole £100, I'm not gonna lie, but again, that's what it's made for. It's made for spending when it's actually intentional. So that's why I always don't mind actually spending my money when I know that it's all planned for. I probably went out twice, I would say. Usually I think during the summer I probably will go out a bit more often, but I think at the moment, just because we had things like wedding planning and stuff, there was just honestly not really a lot of time to go out, I can't even lie. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that I managed to stick to my £100 spending budget, which was great. And then next up was date night. Now the only thing I would say is we actually were slacking this month. So I think the month before we had budgeted around £60, and then this month we thought we would budget around £70, just because it's August, and again we might want to go out a bit more often. And to be honest, again, we didn't actually end up going out very much. So in terms of our date night, we actually only ended up spending £55 actually for this month, which usually I'd be like, oh yeah, happy days, like we've managed to save some money. But I do think it's also important in relationships to actually, you know, be able to go out and enjoy yourself, especially when you're like newly married. I think for us it's just been a bit hectic trying to do all this wedding planning, so we haven't gone out as much as we want to, so hopefully that will change after the wedding. But yeah, you know, sometimes it's good to save money, but obviously we've already been saving quite a high amount of our income already, so I do want us to still be able to spend the money that we've allocated and enjoy it. So yeah, even though we only ended up spending £55, hopefully, I mean, we'll be able to spend a bit more next month. And then when it came to personal care, again with this one, we didn't actually end up spending too much on this. Again, I think a big reason for this is because we had already actually allocated some of that things into our wedding budget as well, because again, we're getting married sort of end of August, beginning of September time. So because of that, we didn't actually end up needing to spend a lot of our personal care money that we would usually spend. So we actually only ended up spending £10 on that. So again, it's good that we've been able to save money there. But what we are going to be doing is actually the money that we should have allocated towards personal care, what I'm going to do is just create a separate pot for that, just so we know that we can have that for next month or the month after, I'm not too sure. But yeah, we're just going to put some money in there. But yeah, all good in that department. And then when it came to miscellaneous, I think we budgeted around 35 for that. And in terms of what we actually spent was 17. So again, we underspent in that area as well. So in terms of our spending, that means in total we spent around £544.09. And again, if you are interested, that is just under $750, so around 748 US dollars. So again, you can see that actually we did have some money left over. So even though we did overspend in some areas, we underspent in some areas, which I'm actually quite surprised in terms of how much money we didn't end up spending for the month. But again, I genuinely think it's because we've been planning for the wedding, and that's really just sucked a lot of our energy, and that's kind of why I haven't been able to do a lot of videos as well. So for me, I think over the next few months, I reckon we will probably be more closer to the budget. I don't think we'll end up having that much money being left over, but again, you know, it's quite nice to have about £60 left over from your budget, which was really interesting to see. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, did you end up overspending in August or underspending? I do usually post every Tuesday and Friday, but I'm taking a small break where I'm not posting on Friday at the moment. But definitely subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.